Easy and Slow Storytelling with Sam Altman. People hear the name Sam Altman, and they think of artificial intelligence. They think of the future. They think of OpenAI. But the real story is more complicated than that. This is not just a story about technology. It is a story about power, about belief, and about who gets to decide what the future looks like. Sam Altman is often described as a visionary, a builder, a quiet strategist behind the AI revolution. But others see him differently. As a risk-taker, a political operator, someone walking a thin line between idealism and control. So who is Sam Altman really? And why does his role matter so much right now? Sam Altman did not start as an AI researcher. He was not trained as a computer scientist in the traditional sense. He grew up in St. Louis, in a household that valued curiosity and learning. From an early age, he was interested in how systems work. Not just machines, but people, markets, and organizations. He went to Stanford, like many tech founders before him. But he did not stay. He dropped out, not because he failed, but because he saw a faster path. He believed that building things in the real world was more important than finishing a degree. His first startup was not glamorous. It was a mobile app, focused on sharing location with friends. It failed, quietly, and completely. That early failure shaped him. It taught him that good ideas are not enough. Timing matters, distribution matters, and above all, power matters. After that failure, Sam Altman found his way to Y Combinator. At the time, Y Combinator was already influential, but it was still growing. It funded startups, but more importantly, it shaped founders. It taught them how to think, how to move fast, and how to survive. Altman quickly rose inside the organization. He became president at a surprisingly young age. And from that position, he gained a unique view of Silicon Valley. He saw thousands of startups. He saw patterns. He saw what worked, and what quietly failed. This is where his real education happened. Not in classrooms, but in conversations, in boardrooms, in moments when companies were deciding whether to pivot or die. At Y Combinator, Altman developed a philosophy. Technology moves in waves, and the biggest opportunities come early. But they also come with the biggest risks. By the mid-2010s, Sam Altman became increasingly focused on artificial intelligence. Not as a product, but as a force. He believed AI would reshape society. Not gradually, but suddenly. He spoke openly about this. About a future where intelligence is cheap, where software can think, and where the balance of power shifts dramatically. This belief led to the creation of OpenAI. At the time, the idea sounded idealistic. A non-profit organization, dedicated to ensuring that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. It was a bold claim, and many were skeptical. OpenAI attracted top researchers, massive attention, and eventually, massive funding. But as the years passed, the structure began to change. A nonprofit became a capped profit company. Partnerships formed, especially with large corporations. The mission stayed the same in words, but the incentives became more complex. Sam Altman found himself in a difficult position. He had to balance safety, speed, and competition. Move too slowly, and others would take the lead. Move too fast, and the risks could spiral out of control. This tension defined his leadership. OpenAI released models, each more powerful than the last. Public interest exploded, so did concern. Some researchers warned about misuse, about alignment, about losing control. Others argued that withholding technology was itself dangerous. Altman stood in the middle, speaking calmly, carefully, often emphasizing responsibility, but also pushing forward. Then came the moment that shocked the tech world. Sam Altman was removed as CEO. Suddenly, without warning, and without clear explanation. For a few days, everything was uncertain. Employees threatened to leave, partners demanded answers, and the future of OpenAI hung in the balance. Just as quickly, he returned, with more support than before. The episode revealed something important. Sam Altman was no longer just a CEO. He was a central figure in a global conversation about AI. Today, Sam Altman operates at the intersection of technology and governance. He speaks with world leaders, regulators, and industry executives. He talks about AI safety, but also about acceleration, about regulation, but also about innovation. Critics argue that this concentration of influence is dangerous, that too much power is being placed in the hands of a few people. Supporters argue the opposite, that thoughtful leadership is exactly what is needed. In a moment like this, there are real risks. AI systems can be misused. They can amplify inequality. They can disrupt labor and challenge existing institutions. Sam Altman does not deny this, but he believes the path forward is engagement, not retreat. He believes shaping the future is better than trying to stop it. The question is not whether AI will change the world. It already is. The question is, who will guide that change? And what values will shape it? Sam Altman is not a hero. And he is not a villain. He is a product of his environment. A system thinker, operating inside systems that reward speed and scale. His story is still being written, and its consequences will not be fully understood for decades. So when we talk about Sam Altman, we are not just talking about one person. We are talking about the future of intelligence, and whether humanity is ready for what it is building.